Hello everyone, welcome back again to my channels, and in this session we'll learn how we can create a list and how we can bind the list in our .NET Maui. Okay, so you don't know how we can create our .NET Maui application and how we can set up and what are the requirements, what are the things. So I am especially recommend to you, please check out to my YouTube channel, and I everything I explain in this session, like how we can create setup, and then also there's another session how we can run our uh, Android application without the emulator. So that's get rid the emulator, and we have a subsystem, Windows subsystem, so we can run our application. We can deploy and run, in the Windows subsystem as well. So let's get started to demo like what we will achieve in this session. So here, see, I create a list, I bind a list actually. And also if you see it is duplicate, there is a two screen. So don't surprise, actually it is a preview. So Visual Studio 2022 give us this brand new feature. So whatever thing you do in a live, so that also give up you in a preview. Also see, when you just click, so that will show on the code as well. So when you click, see that reaches to your code as well. So I'm not explaining more over here, but yeah, this is a nice feature. So now see, this is a list already binded. Okay, this is a demo. We'll implement everything from scratch. And also there is another feature will come in the next, like once I click, so navigate to the detail page. Okay, and then next I'll come and learn and will show you like the navigate nav menu as well. So everything will actually do in this .NET Maui series. So let's get started. Okay, so close everything, stop your application, and yes, running, just create a new application from the scratch actually. So run an application, a new project. I'm not going to any details because I already covered this session, so go and check out. So just select .NET Maui, this, and this is for .NET Maui all features demo. Okay, so next choose .NET 7 or whatever, .NET 6 also available for .NET Maui. So choose this one. Now it is a default template, so I already explained everything, the architecture, what is the architecture and how's the flow, so that I'm not going to again. But yeah, make sure our application is, once I create a new template, it is working or not. So let's make sure like what it is working or not. So let's run our application. So I'm running our application actually on Windows. So this button my actually, it's a cross-platform app. So you can run your application Windows, iOS, Mac OS, everywhere. Okay. So see, okay, let's, yeah, see, application is running for the default, and also when you click, it change. Also preview also change. So let's find verify is completed. And now we will start our that list binding. So what we need to do, first we have to bind our list. So what, uh how we can do that? So first actually create a model. Okay, whatever model, based on the model actually I want to create a I want to bind a list. So rename this one. Okay, it is a model folder. Create a model folder and write a class for this model. I would like to create with block, which is my favorite. Add. Okay, now it's created. Now make it public so that we can access outside of this class, and also write some property. So id could be id, and now name, description. Also we required image URL. Okay, so make it public string image URL. Okay, make it get set. Okay, now this things has done. Now we have to create actually a view model. Okay, so oh yeah, so I forget one thing to mention. Actually this will achieve will this no new feature, not new feature, it is an old feature, but that that comes in new feature in this MVVM model. Okay, so in previously there is a very difficult to actually manage that MVVM. Actually there are many things to need to write, manage, like okay, notify to change and so on. So actually so that all of things have to get rid. So that I'll show you how that is done. So let's create another folder. It's view model. Okay, it is view models. Okay, and now create a model. So everything will bind our data with this view model mvvm. And now create a class the same name, whatever which page actually we trying to bind. So I'll bind in the main page because our starting page is main page. So let's uh, create a name main dot view model, main view model.cs. Okay, okay, so that is done. And also what need to do, we have to create one, we have to change actually that to public and make it to partial actually. So because this model we used to in this inside of this, behind the XAML file, class. Okay, so this main class, so that's why I make it partial so that I can use and implement our stuff. Okay, one more thing, so whatever old stuff, so I want to get it from here. So remove everything. Okay, just remove this one, also remove that old code, everything just remove. I will create everything from scratch. So just remove. Now nothing is there. Okay, so what need to do in here, I need to inherit actually one mvvm uh, uh, class, or we can say like, yeah, it is a class. So that class need to inherit so that we can use that new feature of mvvm. So how we can do that? First we have to inject, first we have to actually add a reference. Okay, so that reference is community. It should be is community toolkit. Community, yes, this toolkit mvvm. So this is a new package or new feature actually for mvvm. Okay, it is not installed, it should be on browser. So that should come. Okay, so this, see, this is a new package. Okay, so which is allowed to just to help to actually see, this is giving us the relay command. It's a relay xing command. Okay, observable things. So we have to not write such kind of code which is we using in mvvm in previously. So that we have to manage everything, like okay, whatever our list, so that again if somebody changed, so we have to notify and change event, fire everything. Okay, so that all things has get rid from this new feature. So let's inherit that class, actually one of the class in. So how we can do that? We can do actually directly from here, and there's a standard way you can create another base class, and then you can inherit, and then those things you can inherit so everywhere. So that is a standard. So I'll put in the base view model. Okay, and make it public. Okay, and just use that observable object and bring the namespace. Okay, and should come. Bring the namespace. Okay, it is installed or not? Let me check first. Okay, okay, sorry, I forget to install. So first package need to install, so just install it. Okay, and once installed, okay, once it's installed, so go to your view model and just bring the namespace. Okay, see, community tool MVVM component model. Okay, so yeah, now it's done. Now this base model you can use every view model. Okay, that is a beauty, or also this is a standard way, so that whatever common things actually we have to use for every pages, so we can use it over here. Okay, so that is done. Now move it to implementation. So how we can implement in this view model? So what we need to do first actually I need to create two property. Okay, so first is wool is refresh, so that our that that list we can refresh, so that might be something updated in backend, so I can just refresh, so the data will came and populate again. So that property I required, so I just use this one bool. And why it's I'm making private? Because I want to use that observable property attribute, and that attribute helps to generate. Okay, so this property, this attribute actually generate to everything whatever we did in old version of MVVM. Actually they create a notifier, and then create a notifier change event and everything. So how we can make sure like everything is generated or not? So if you go to dependency, go to Android, okay, and go to analyzer, you will see there is a generation code. Okay, so let's see Microsoft C Sharp code generation. Yes, source generation. Go to the source generation, and this is a observable property. So see, this is a observable generation. So expand this one and see, this is a two things is generated. So let's open this one. Okay, first one .NET Maui and this view model. Okay, main view model, so whatever view model, so this is that. And if you see how they internally generating code and managing, and how we don't record that all the event, because see, automatically it is generated is refresh, get and set, and this is setting. And then what they're doing, they actually is refresh, changing event in refresh, changing, and then also on property change, everything actually he managing. So we don't bother about, and we don't require actually that old version. So this is a new feature MVVM, so that is a nice one. Okay, so now same behavior, we record another property. Okay, that one is our list. Okay, so just generate another one. Okay, that observable collection, bring the namespace, and this is the block, our block. So just bring the namespace as well, which is already created. And once this done, see, it should be generate over here as well. So I think might be just rebuild. It should be generated automatically, but yeah, make sure I rebuild. And once it's rebuild, just expand Android and go to code. See, this one generated. Okay, automatically again generated my another property of list collection of blog. And this also again on change blogging event fired, and on change event, on property change, everything managing itself. Okay, so that is a nice feature. Okay, so now see, two things is done. Now what I need to do, I required one property, one command actually. So how we can command in MVVM, so that is also is a nice feature available. So just make it private, or let's get copy paste, because instead of wasting our time, just copy paste my code. Okay, I'll explain actually. So see, this attribute for command. So in previously we using actually that command, and then we create a command and then change event and everything, so they will manage. So that event actually manage in this itself of relay command. Okay, so this is a nice feature again. And also we required actually load a sick data. So how we can get the data while refreshing? So that method I need to create. Okay, so this is another method I need to create, so where I can get all the list of data. So now see, this is that method. Okay, which is actually giving the data observable blogs, and we need to create on one service actually, because those service will give a data. But as of now we can do actually here, in memory, but yeah, that's a nice, standard way. If we follow, so our architecture will be as a clean. So what need to do, I can create another folder of services, so that all the services we can keep in this folder services, and create that service. I create one interface. Okay, I log service, service, and then make it public. Okay, and create a one signature, like it should be name of this. Okay, so yeah, we create a method declaration and bring the namespace. Okay, so I create a method get blog async. Okay, that will implement in our concrete class. So let's create a implementation class, and it should be named as a blog service. Blog service, and just inherit over here. Inherit and just implement that method. Shortcut key is implement interface. Okay, now see, and make it to async and return to that list. Okay, how we can return is, as of now actually in this service, later on we'll call the API, means our API, but as of now for the binding of the list, this first session, so I'll just create in memory list. So how we can do that, just create a property of the private property of the list. So let's keep it like that, and then just initialize that property to ctr, create a constructor. So yeah, like this. So I initialize our list with the instance of new, create a new instance. Okay, and then just return of that list. Okay, so that our service, whatever data over here, later on, so they will give us the data. Okay, so this is fine, and then this service we can use it in our view model class. So go to our main view model class and just inject that service. So how we can do that, just inject like same behavior, and also whatever we injecting, so that also resolve the, we have to resolve the dependency. So that I also explain you like how we can do that. Okay, just create a constructor of model view, view model, and then call it to blog service. I blog service, create instance property, and then set it to as a private. Okay, so see, this is already created, so keep it to on tops, and this is our service. And see, this service call to our our service means this interface call our implementation our service get by the method, and this method give us to our data. Okay, this is done. This is very straightforward and simple. Also see, I create a private class, but I just this actually allow to the public class. Okay, because this is the beauty of MVVM, it's automatically take a private, but they setting as a public, and then this one we can use on our user interface. Okay, so this is done. This is almost done. Okay, so one thing, yeah, let's done. Now move it to our XML page so that we can design. Okay, so that implementation done, we have to bind that data, whatever actually whatever data we're getting from here. So that data we have to bind over there. So how we can do that? Let's open XML and we have to add it that class. Okay, view model, also that view model, that view model file, file, and also that folder. So how we can achieve that? XML and that x, then it is give us to view model. Okay, so how we can .NET just call that same name of that assembly .NET Maui. Okay, so it will show you that, see the view model. Okay, so just use that one and use this is a view model. Okay, so I reference as a view model, so I make it as a view model. Okay, and then what need to do, the also call a model as well. So this is a view model called, and then again call the model. So how we can do that? That's simple. Then m for model, specify the name, and then same like .NET, whatever your assembly name when you call. So see, this is model as well, so I call that model as well. Okay, so these two reference you record, whatever view model and model. So this already done, and then let's call out the type. Okay, so whatever which type actually I using this view model folder actually. Okay, so but what is that class? So how we can get that one? So that how we can do that? So x, then x class type. Okay, data type, and this data type call this view bm, and see it's showing is all the view model inside the view model folder. So which one we record main view model. Okay, so just add it over here. Okay, this is done, and then we have to start our implementation of that okay, that UI. Okay, so design, that design thing we have to start. Okay, so first what need to do, we have to require our refresh view. Okay, uh, so that once everyone like refresh, so it will refresh. Okay, so see, this is a refresh view. Okay, it is a Maui controller, so that controller you have to call that in, and it is a property of refresh, and bind your refresh property, which is I created in our view model. Okay, and then call on a command. Okay, refreshing command. So what is that? Where is that command? Very simple, and go to main. See that refresh command on refreshing. Okay, so go to again on refreshing command. So that command. Okay, so that command actually, okay, so there is a confusing, right? So see, they generating, I call actually a refreshing command. Okay, but I create on refreshing, right? So where is that refreshing command? So it is automatically created inside the generating code, which they that name. Suppose I create any command, if I attribute put that attribute, so automatically it is adding the and on the and actually that command prefix, actually that prefix where they will add in the and to the method. Okay, so you want to make sure, so go to again in your analyzer, and you will get that relay command. Okay, see, relay command generated, and open that one, and see this is a relay command and refresh command. Okay, so this refresh command generating with this on refreshing method. Okay, so here is the beauty actually. So go back to again, it could be a little bit long this session, because I'm going to very deep. So yeah, for the starting I think that is required also, right? So let's move again our XAML file. Okay, so that refresh done. Okay, then move it to the list, how we can bind the list. So that list, actually there is a many way actually we can bind the list. Like there is a control of list view, there's a control of tab view, there is a many things. Okay, so but in here we'll use a collection view. Okay, so how can get that collection? Just another property. Okay, see, this is my controller collection view, and again just close that one. So that collection view, okay, that collection, and then item. So in this collection, they, it's a property called an item source, and this item source actually binding the blocks. Okay, so where is coming? Okay, so if you remove this one and then space, see, this block is there, right? So that we have created in our, once I call this view model, so inside the view model, whatever property we can directly bind over here. Okay, so that is done. Then what need to do? We have to create a template. Okay, so just create inside the view, we want a template. So just collection view template, right? So okay, so collection template, we have to close that collection template. Okay, collection template, yes, like this way. Okay, and inside the collection template we required actually data template. So let's bring that code. Okay, so let's bring the code. Okay, without wasting a time, so let's copy and paste. I'll explain actually everything. Okay, so see the collection view, then inside the data template, and this data template, actually there's a property x data type, and in this x data type which model you want to use. So I want to use, so see, this is m, this m will refer for this, actually this model. Okay, this model I call, and then whatever model in this, inside this model folder, I can use it. Okay, so this is, I call this block model, and then I take a stack layout. Okay, and then again I use a one frame, and inside the frame actually some, I take a grid. Actually there's that design, actually there's a very complex design because I show in the image, and then as well as that, the name. So I take a grid, the grid grid, and then there is a take a two columns. So one column I show the image, and second column I will show that uh, the other stuff like name, description as well. So this is the same. I think this is a little bit of design type, so you don't bother about that. That's a very simple. But here, so it is a grid. I take a grid control, and then grid control I define then a column and width. Okay, so this is a column width, and then I take another, I create a frame, and inside the frame actually I create a image. Okay, so whatever image I'll show in this frame, and this frame actually bind where, like binding which one property. If you go to F12, so see, in this blog image property will bind, and once it's done, okay, then it is there, and then stack layout, and then grid, another stack layout we are taking for this, the name. Okay, so we saw in our in our demo, like there is a two step in this list binding. So first is image, second one is the name, so whatever the block name. So see, this is the name, and then once grid is complete, and then there is another property. Okay, so that we have to get rid from here, because that will create another session, new session, another session, where actually I just click that on the whatever item, they will navigate to their place. Okay, so okay, so that is done for XAML part. Okay, now we have to resolve our dependency. Okay, okay, so then move it to behind of that, XAML file, and what need to do next, we actually just binding context, whatever view model we have created, that need to bind here. Okay, so how we can do that? Whatever our main view model, so just inject main view model. Okay, then main view model, just name it to variable, and just create a, assign property. Okay, so let's get this one. Okay, and once assign here. Okay, so what need to do, we have to bind actually. So how we can do that? Bind context, binding context, and object actually. So let's done. Okay, this is done. Okay, so whatever your xaml xaml page, okay, so once came here, so it will call actually every time calling in this method first. Okay, means this constructor call, and once it actually whatever our view model we have to create it, that actually binding in our binding context. Okay, and then what need to do, we have to call one overload method, override method, so that we can call our that method, that binding service. So how we can do that, whatever our border model, so on a pairing, yeah, this is on a pairing method. See, and when you put that, okay, so I'll show you how we can do that. Just override, okay, and override, and then press tab, and once space, so you will see all the method. Okay, and every method, whatever method we record, like just we record on a pairing, so just search on a pairing, and once it's on a pairing, just tab, so it will create it automatically. Okay, so just remove this one is not needed. So on a pairing is there. Then what need to do, we have to call this one. Okay, call this one to our okay, so need to call, so let's await, okay, because it is async. So await main view model dot load data. Okay, so this is our view model method. So load data, so whatever it will actually forcefully calling in this page, so that once came in this page, call this page, it will go there, go to definition, go to implementation, and it will call and will store, and it will bind automatically in our XAML. Okay, so this is the whole the process. This is done for view model and everything is done, but yeah, one thing is still pending, that resolve the dependency. So if you run this application, might be it will not run. Okay, so how we can resolve that dependency? So this is a great feature, give us in .NET Maui. Go to maui.program.cs file. If you go here, okay, so you have to resolve all the dependency here based on this, like method, like builder dot services dot add singleton. Okay, there's a many method actually to resolve dependency, so I'm not going to detail because this is already explained in my channel. So yeah, so is as of now I will take a singleton. And what is our page? Our page is main page, so just call main page. So I resolve that main page dependency, also just separate it is pages, then separate for view model. Okay, so resolve dependency from view model for here itself, builder dot services dot add singleton, and call your view model. What is the view model name? Main dot view model. Okay, so this is one. And also we have to resolve our services, because we inject our services inside the view model. Okay, so how we can do that? Just services. Okay, and now same behavior, like builder dot services dot add singleton, and here we specify our service name, our declaration, as well as our concrete class. So what is that, our declaration in service name? Blog services. Okay, and then blog service. Okay, that is done. So everything is done. Let's build, so that make sure everything is actually expected. So let's build first. It should not give any error. So it almost done. Button building project, so yeah, it's still running, because first time I'm trying to build, so might be take some time. Okay, it's done now. Okay, so what need to do, Just try to run first in window. Okay, let's run in window. Okay, it's run actually. See, is there no error, and is it no data? Okay, just because in our case there is a no data actually. So if you go to our service, so there is a no data, it's blank. So we can make sure like our our things is calling over here or not. We can, okay, just stop, or let me check. Okay, window is not refreshing work, so let's stop here. Okay, and let's add some fake data. Okay, so let me add some fake data. I already actually created, so let's get it from there. Okay, so let's add them fake data. Okay, so see, it is a simple like our blog. There is a description, image, and name. So I put it, and also I pass it the URL of that our images. Okay, so let's run again one more time. Okay, now this time you can see the data. Okay, it is coming perfectly. Okay, so let's check in our Android as well. So let's run to Android. Also, you don't have setup of emulator. I also created one session how we can set up the emulator. So check out my video and let's run on the emulator. Let's see. Running. Okay. Emulator running. Actually, it is very easy. So it is little complex saying to the XAML code and model view, but yeah, once you do one time, so definitely it will think, okay, it is very easy. So try. Okay, find device here. Okay, now it's running. Okay, also we will debug as well, no issue. Okay, see, now cat it our list. Okay, whatever list, so based on the image and name it's populated. Okay, also let's check that refresh is working or not. See, refresh also working. Okay, let me put debugger point. Okay, so how we can, so that we can check, okay, what is the flow is going on. So this is base URL, it is not. Okay, first go to here. Okay, so not this one. Check view model and refresh. It's a refresh command, and this one also. Okay, so let me run again and refresh. See, it is getting debugger reaching over here. It is false, it is call again. It is call this method, and this method call to our service. So if you break point over here, okay, continue. See, there's a 5 records, whatever records, and let's run populated data. Okay, so run. See, so that is enough for this session. So we are easily actually achieve this. In next session will come with how we can click navigation part. So once click, it will go to another page and detail page, and the show that details. Okay, and go back to navigation, back to our that list page as well. So that will do in the next session. Till now, thank you very much. Have a nice day, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit the bell icon.